Yo, what it is, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. This is Star Marvel 718. This is going to be my thoughts, analysis on One Piece, one chapter in 49, The World You Wish For. Right? Now, the first thing we're going to start with, let's start off that cover page. I'm not going to say this cover page was fire, bad pun, anything like that. But I thought it made sense because, the Vince Smokes is like bulletproof and fireproof and things like that. So, what would be the best way to free them if they're in the book? Put it on fire. So, that makes sense. So, to me, because the person or people who's freeing them know they're fireproof, it kind of leads them to believe it is Reiju and Ichiji trying to save Yonji and Neji. I said Neji, yeah, Niji. I apologize about that. My cat was like messing with the curtain and anything behind me, so I had to let her skedaddle. They didn't do nothing wrong to her. I wonder why they calling Peter on me for animal abuse and shit like that. But let's get back to this review. Well, see, I think it makes sense to think that it's Reiju and Ichiji actually freeing the rest of the brothers because they would know that their siblings are fireproof, so put the building or slash books on fire to save them. That's one thing. Now, going to my thoughts and idea on this chapter. This chapter is a good chapter. I'm not gonna say it's a great chapter, but compared to last chapter, I like this chapter a lot. I give the chapter 7.5, and the reason why 7.5 to let's say 8, and the reason why I give it that high of a score, the way Oda utilized the backstory and he used like Kaido's flashback for this story was much better than previously. Because previously they were just giving already established information. Orochi was starving citizens. He was being abusive. He was abusing his power. He's a piece of shit. He deserved to die. Now, if you look at 1047, 1048, and you separate them, you kind of, get lost a little bit. I think like what Oda's trying to do with his story. Now, we had Orochi, he was on fire. We'd seen that he got beheaded by Denjiro, right? So now I'm kind of wondering, that's foreshadowing what's going to happen to Kaido, right? So we go into the flashback with Kaido. Now it kind of makes sense to why Kaido's such like a warmonger and things like that, because he's literally a child soldier. Like, he was part of a military force at the age of 10, and he was the strongest warrior. And then he was betrayed by his kingdom because they were trying to sell him off to the world government just to get, resources and supplies and things like that. So he has a similar backstory to Big Mom. So I kind of see why him and Big Mom had a somewhat close relationship when they was younger, because her parents gave her away. They didn't want her, and they did his people give him away. And we didn't even know anything about Kaido's parents or anything like that. So the first thing they said was, you know what, let's just sell you, get resources off of you, we'll use you. And it's crazy that in his flashback, Kaido got caught on purpose just to eat, and then he escaped. So now we have the whole moniker of Kaido being the world's strongest creature, always bet on him. He escaped Navy capture so many times. Now you're like, why does man keep getting captured? But then at the same time, he kept escaping. If he was that strong, how you get captured the first time around? Because he just wanted to eat. So I see where that may be where Oda's going to try to play on connecting him and Luffy, having him and Luffy be like allies and buddies type of things, because Luffy wants to give the world food. He feels like everyone should has a decent amount of food and everything like that. So I'm kind of feeling that Kaido won't really be defeated by Luffy. Well, let me explain why. When back in Kaido's flashback, he was saying that he know who Joy Boy is. Joy Boy is going to be the person that's going to defeat him. But then he says, I guess that will never happen. Because Kaido, I feel, is going to not pull a Katakuri, but he's going to pretty much have a sense of where he's going to have like a connection to Luffy over the whole everyone should type of eat, everyone should have a good meal type of jazz. I'm kind of feeling Kaido may see great potential in Luffy, and may sacrifice himself for the world, to the world government. Like, I can see the world government's like, you know what, Kaido's weakened, he's beaten, let's do this, because at the end of the chapter we got Luffy and Momonosuke, and I know I'm jumping around, but like I'm trying to formulate my thoughts for you guys. But we see at the end of the chapter, Luffy and Momonosuke is both knocked out, and originally I was thinking Momonosuke completing something or doing something his father couldn't do, actually killing Kaido, with his sword and everything, because Zoro has Hiyori's sword, which is Emma, and then his sword, Amihaba Kiri, right? Yeah, I get that right. There's a lot of vowels in that. it's still in play, because the swords now really disappearing, because like it's like Chekhov's gun. They already established the two swords, and he gave them both names. It makes no sense that he mentioned two swords and not bring them back into the story. So it kind of got me thinking, if Kaido does die, right, 1-on-1 against someone. Now Luffy already established in the story a few chapters ago that he's not Joe, he's just Luffy. Monkey D. Luffy. He's just going to be the future Pirate King. So I guess that's always a way of really saying that even though Luffy has like this boss god fruit and things like that, don't think he's reincarnation of Joe Boy. That's not who he is. Luffy's his own man, his own story, his own adventure, like completely separate. This myth that Oda is building, he established within the One Piece community and things like that, or within the One Piece story. So now thinking back to when Momonosuke read his father's diary, and he was saying like, "Yo, I can't die." Now I think this is like leading to more credence to Momonosuke being Joy Boy, and Momonosuke's sword coming back into play, him killing Kaido, because like I said, we had Orochi, he was a dragon, or he was a snake. He was a snake, but he looked like a dragon on fire. He looked like a 17 dragon on fire, and Denjo came out of nowhere, cut his head off. So now, that's it, because like I'm playing with like two ideas. Either he has a connection to Luffy, or Kaido. Either Kaido has a connection to Luffy to where he's like, you know what, I'm gonna leave the world in your hands, and he sacrificed himself almost like a Bon Clay to protect Luffy and his crew so they can escape, and then Luffy's gonna continue on his story, beat up and hurt, and then it's gonna be Usopp. I still feel Usopp's gonna be like the captain of the ship during Elbaf, so that's how he's gonna get his moniker of a brave warrior, captain of the sea, because they're gonna see Luffy's knocked out, and because of his lies and stories, everybody's just gonna let him rock out. But I think this chapter was good. This was a really good chapter. Like I said, especially the way Oda utilized the flashback and things like that. Was the flashback good? It wasn't great. It was okay, but it was much better than last week's chapter's flashback. And the reason why I said, because it was kind of like this flashback was scarce. Like Oda just gives few drops here and there and things like that, and you're like, okay, we see when Kaido was like 10, we see when he was 15, and then I think they said the Rocks Pirates was broken up, and I think they broke up, or they was defeated. I think Kaido was like 19, so he's with the Rocks for 4 years. So his flashback doesn't have like any real like body to it. It's almost like Oda's gives a shell, but I think the reason why Oda did that because Kaido's flashback is going to be heavy involved with the Rocks. So I think Oda's saving that for like another time. But yeah, like I said, I thought this chapter was good. I thought it was very solid. I know a lot of people in the community wasn't feeling this chapter. They felt like Oda kind of like robbed us with information, and I feel because Kaido's background and his flashback story is gonna be heavily involved with the Rocks, Oda's still trying to keep that a little mystery. It's like, you know what, I'm gonna give you guys a little snippet of Kaido. Like, we're gonna skip 5 and 4 years here and there and give you an idea. And especially Kaido being a drunk coming from Vodka Island, which is like, is he Japanese or is he Russian? Like, what's going on? Even Polish? Like, what's going on? So we know this man was literally ingrained to be an alcoholic. But I think I'm gonna cut it right there. Like I said, decent solid chapter. I can't complain. I was much better than last chapter. Last chapter, like, I don't want to rant about that, but last chapter I thought, they just literally took a shit. I think Oda just shit that chapter out. I'm sorry. Like, I know a lot of people was calling him Goda, but the man's human, and that chapter to me was just like, okay, well, I'll give you a pass, because not everybody has great days. We all have bad days. But like, comment, subscribe, guys. Like, let me know if you guys think my rating was too high, if it was too low. Like, what are your thoughts? Like, what's your real actual thoughts on the chapter? Like, my comment section is always open, things like that. My saying is always, let's have a conversation. So I really do mean that. Like, let's have a conversation about this. Like, yo, guys, hit me up through Facebook. I said through Facebook, sorry. Hit me up through YouTube, because I'm not gonna put my real name out there. It's kind of creepy, but whatever. Hit me up through YouTube. Let me guys know what you thought about the chapter. Your thoughts, your reviews. Hell, even if you do videos on YouTube about One Piece, link in the comment section. I'll check it out too. So, Star Mode 7, I'm out, y'all.